Man, Chris, nah. What you talking about, bro?
We live. All right.
The doors of the Love Church are now open. Dear world, you name it, we cover it from the world of singles to the behind the scenes of the greatest movie ever filmed, called Marriage. We dig into everything from dating 101. Why won't they commit? It's complicated. I can't do it if it's the three of us. They're a good person, but I'm not attracted to them in that way. 2, they really didn't disclose who they were before I said I do. How do I do this if they can't keep a job? The bills are paid, but the bedroom is suffering. Did I marry you or did I marry your family? Because we only can take care of us. Let's open up our marriage. Why do I have to buy into your beard gang illusion? You could have told me you were down low and we could have remained friends and not married. And last but not least, did you marry me or your pastor? Have we gotten your attention yet? If so, tune in to Unique Perspective Love Talk Radio, Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to hear more of today's real issues in the world of love. The doors of the Love Church are now open.
All right, sir. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. I'm your host, Charles Dixon, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Adam Ford. How are you, sir?
What's up, fam, on a Thursday afternoon? Ooh, it's been a long day, but it's good. I'm good.
You good? Yeah.
I'm good. Not too bad.
In spite of me being a little under the weather, I still had a desire to do the show. Yeah.
Wow, look at your dedication. You are so committed.
Yeah. You know how the preachers always got to be like, my wife told me to stay at home, and
you should have stayed at home.
Right.
You should have stayed at home.
Yeah. So how was your week, man?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Like I said, today was a particularly long day because we had to go into the office, and so it takes time. You got to travel back and forth or whatever like that. But otherwise, not too bad. Yeah, pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good, man. I mean, like I said, aside from being a little under the weather, it's been all right. It's been kind of well, let me not say it's all right. Some weeks, Adam, are more trying than others. But I'm always a fighter, so I'm gonna get through it, whatever it is.
Okay, all right. I mean, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, I'm through it. What I was gonna say. What else is happening out here? There's so many things going on. It's just kind of crazy things like this going on. But we make it. Those of you that are coming in, if you can, some of you, if you can, like and share. Let's like and share. I just took a moment to share to the other page, and people have been, now believe it or not, people have been saying, oh, I didn't know about y'all show and this, that, and the other. And it was like, well, we do promote it. Hello. But anyway.
Yeah, we do. But we probably need to do a little bit more than what we do.
For sure. It definitely can be more marketing than that. For sure.
Yeah. No doubt.
So today, sir, we are talking about the blessing of their exit. People probably like, what do you mean? So, and basically what we're saying is the blessing of their exit, and leaving is not necessarily a bad thing. So the point where I'm coming from with that is, I feel like so many times, many of us, we call ourselves moving on, right? Or moving on with our life, and I'm over here now, and I'm over there minding my business, all these things, but you're really not minding your business, right? You over there, but your heart is still over there, right? Okay. You over there, the heart over there. And so, that can look many ways. That can look, depending on how severe the situation, some people will be calling people phone, don't say nothing, hang up, just want to hear their voice. You'll be surprised. Trust me. They call and don't say nothing, just hang up. Did you be like, hello? You click.
Or you hear some breathing in the background.
All that. And so you got that. But here's one of the most infamous things that we do. We will leave somebody alone, or let's just say they left you alone. That's the reason for the show. They left you alone. And what we'll do is be on their page. We on their page, stalking their page.
Wow.
We looking. Let me tell you, one of the, and I don't know how some people have the guts and wherewithal to do it, but me personally, if something is over, especially if it's unfavorably, meaning if the person left you,
Right.
The last thing I want to do is see anything.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a reason even the Bible, Adam, says to guard your heart and mind.
Yeah, real talk.
Listen, when it comes to separation, if you don't do anything, guard your heart and your mind. Like, don't think that you're so tough and so weathered that you can face and see anything and think it's going to be all right. Because many people over the years, we have ran up on situations, as they say today, we pulled up on situations and seen things. And in the midst of the drama, all sorts of things were said, all sorts of things were done. In some cases, fights and then and so on and so forth. But in the moment, your friends, oh, don't worry about it, Adam. It's all right, man. It's plenty of other people out there. You're right. I'm going home. And then Adam goes home and be all like, so you go home and you got to shoot up, because what happened is when you see somebody that you love, let's just be honest, you see a person that you got strong feelings for them, for them, and they left you alone or walked away or they got somebody else, whatever the case. Right. And you go somewhere and see them or go on their page and they like this with some other man, or you go to fake. So don't even put yourself in those stratospheres to even like you said, we have to look at it like this, Adam. When people choose to say, hey, because some people, they don't just leave you, and I'm sure somebody can witness this one. Some people just don't leave you after a series of arguments and talking at the table, and this just ain't working, right? Some people will leave you behind your back. And meaning they're in a relationship with you. They just went to the cookout at your mother's house, or your father or her husband's house, whatever the case is, men or women. You slept together. You went on a trip to Bali. All these things, only to come back, and your person has now served you with divorce papers. Wow. Or they have told you, you do know I love you, right? That's the famous Turner. You do know I love you. I mean, you mean the world to me. Without you and all these things, I probably wouldn't be here. You're not going to be here if you keep it up. But anyway, so you keep saying you're not going to be here. So next thing you know, the person is just like, yeah, I'm going to go. I just don't think it's working. And so I'm going to go ahead and I just think we need our space. Right. You hear space. When you hear the word space, that's, if we cut through the red tape, it means I'm in a hurry to get to another appointment. And unfortunately, I have to cut this appointment short. Yeah. We're famous for saying whatever we need to say to savor the moment. Okay. But the truth of the matter is, when people are walking away from someone who they know loves them, or at least is a big fan of them, even if you don't all the way 100% love, the person is in it. Right. If you rush and go somewhere, it's because you believe something else over there is more advantageous. Right. So what I always say, think about this. Remember the times when we would go to the malls, they still have them. If you go to certain stores or even office buildings, and you know how when you get to the main door, it's not just an open the door and walk in, it's the turnstile. The glass turnstile. Revolve the door. This is what happens in many of our relationships. We get into these turnstiles, and we go in there, hey, boo, back around. See you later. Hey, boo, I'm back. See you later. Hey, boo. And the worst thing we can do is keep the turnstile open. Right. Now, follow me with this. You ever notice how at those turnstiles, they're only open for as long as the business is open. Yeah. So, and when the business closes, the security guard gets up and locks the turnstile. Right. It's closed. No more 360. Right. It's over. Right. So the thing with us, we all have love turnstiles in our hearts. Okay. But when the business, follow me, when the business of you and me are over, I don't lock it.
Wow, you keep
I
it open.
keep it unlocked. And so when you don't lock it, matter of fact, when you don't lock your turnstile, you don't just get the person who left you coming back. You get the person who stalked you 6 years ago coming back.
Yeah.
This one coming back. Oh, that one coming back. Oh, the new one. I saw your picture when you was down there at the Lakers family.
Lord.
I said, I always had a crush on you. You get all of that. But something happens and transcends, if you will, when we lock the turnstile. It tells the person, man, nothing puts someone in the mind of retrospect of get your mind right more than someone shutting the door in your face.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Is no comparison like being in a person's world and knowing you have all of the past words. I don't mean figuratively. I mean you're involved. So your status with them is active.
Right.
You're active. So you can go to the family house. You can talk to you, my nephew can go play ball, whoever. It's wide open because you're in my world.
Right.
But when you leave out of the right person's world, especially on your own recklessness, and you turn around and see that the door is locked, it's not a good feeling. Because most of us, if we're honest, we don't even realize half of the affairs and things and situations that we get into while in relationships or while in marriages, most of them are fueled by the fact that you have a partner.
Okay.
Most of the people, we're too silly and foolish in the moment to realize most of them see you as attractive as you are because you're tied to that man or that woman.
Okay.
And they're saying something, and it's sad, but a lot of times it be about our spouses and partners, not so much you. It's really, they like, so Adam love her like that? I mean, I wonder why he do all of that for her. I need to see what that's like. And then here we come. So now we interested more so. And then here's the oldie but goodie. A lot of things, and I'm sure people under the sound of my voice have experienced this. In the midst of cheating and in the midst of dipping and going over there and, you know what, I told you when they go to work, I want to call you back and I'll meet you at the spot. All of that covert interest and love that you think you feel is fueled because of the deceit. The deceit is what's fueling it. You feel like, oh, they giving me the attention. No, you're bustling with the attention at the moment because you're tied to somebody. And that somebody gives the person pursuing you confidence. They're like, oh look, you don't even understand, Adam, how many times in places I've been either with guys or men, and you'll hear, it sounds so disrespectful to hear a man say, man, Shawty better be glad I sent his wife back home. She always over here. You know, in other words, I can inflict my will on her because right now I have created such a mystery between us that she can't get enough of it. And while she got a husband, while she got a man, or he got a woman or whatever, we keep on stirring up that pot. But guess what? I remember I told someone one time, Adam, a dear love of mine, I said, this person was in a scenario where, unfortunately, it was a marital fallout. A marital fallout. The person was married. And listen, even the other person was married. But here's the thing. What gets me is how we have the best advice as a husband to someone else's wife. And your wife is dying. So here's the thing. This man talking all in this person's ear and saying all this and come on, whatever. So when I finally talked to the person, and you know, because of the close relationship we had, and they shared with me the situation, and I realized they were really hurt by the fact that this person lured me out of my marriage virtually. I got out, you don't even plan to do anything with me. So what I told the person, I said, God never lets the robber get the prize.
Okay.
When you are robbing covenant, you don't win. But because if you're on the outside and you're robbing someone else's covenant, you can't win.
You can't win. Yeah.
You slice it.
You're not gonna win.
You're not going to win. It's going to affect even though you may think in the moment you're winning, it's affecting your life. It's affecting your purpose.
Yeah.
For those who don't believe in purpose, it's affecting your luck.
Yeah.
Your universal luck, if you will. Whatever. So all those things. And so it doesn't fare good. But we get into these situations where we get caught up in illusions. And then when people get you out of it, when you call yourself saying, I'm free, I'm broken up. I don't know if any one of you all caught that series on, I want to say it was on Prime. It's called 3 Women. Real dicey, racy. It's interesting because you're going to learn, but it's a lot of raciness inside of it. But the point is, one of the ladies who it was about 3 women, and they all had their different perspectives of why they were the way they were. Mm-hmm. And so one of the women was a married woman. She had a kid or 2, or maybe she had just a son, but her husband didn't really pay her attention. He acted like he didn't really want to kiss her. She wasn't an ugly lady. I mean, he was, to be honest, he looked a little strange and nerdy, but he acted like he didn't really like her that much.
Okay.
The point is, the lady got so tired of feeling not desired. She dug up her Facebook and looked for her old high school crush.
Oh, Lord.
I guess that she had sex with back then.
Right.
She found this guy who just randomly just shows up in his pickup truck like he's available to do whatever. So they first meet at a hotel.
Okay.
And then because she's been so deprived.
Right. She's thirsty and hungry.
It was all like popcorn. They all over the place.
Right.
Then it was one place, another. Then it was in the car. I mean, everything.
Wow.
Then this when it got to the point when it got real for her. She done went and told the husband she wants a separation because she thought all of this sex this man that I used to love is giving me, and he's giving me all his time and attention. Surely me and him about to turn the corner.
Right. Sure.
Contrary. Anyway, she went to him, Adam, and told him, yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? She had all this mushy stuff going on. Her whole demeanor was all happy because now she's getting some on a regular. She liked the guy, all this kind of crap.
Right.
So now there is one trick in there that she did. I'm very curious. But anyway, so then, it was in the back of the car. She had some kind of trick she did. But anyway, she got in the car, Adam, and told the man, she said, yeah, man, I can't wait to see you every day and come home. She was now painting where she left. She's trying to paint the married life to the guy who just hit me.
Right.
And she was like, I could just be with you and all of this. And he said, yeah, this, in short, in our language, Adam, this ain't that.
Right.
I know we having a good time.
Right.
We having fun. But I'm not signing up for that. I'm not trying to be married. I can't. In other words, here's the dirty part about it. He wasn't by himself. He just was going to look. If you're going to give it to him, and you're a nice looking lady, and if that's how his fortitude is built, and he don't have integrity, he gonna smash.
Yeah.
So he figured if you want to have crazy sex, you're giving me oral sex, you're doing all these tricks, have at it. So he let her do it all. And she thought he was doing it because it was building something.
Right.
But when it got to the crust of it, it was not. And so she's all broken to the point, and then what she ends up doing, she's so broken, she had her son kept asking her to spend time with him because he noticed she was so distracted. She always looking at her phone, she running to sneak out to see the man.
Right.
Her and her son goes to the park to spend time. He had to go to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom or whatever, and the mama, he wanted her, he was so awkward as a kid, socially awkward, he didn't really want her to leave outside the outside bathroom. He wanted her to sit right there. But in her mind, her phone is in her car, and it was charging. And all she's thinking is this man calling me.
Right.
She ran to the car, looking at her phone, trying to press it and turn it on. So when she looks at her phone, she sees him. She's getting all giddy and distracted.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Mom! She goes back and looking for her son, all frantic, trying to see where he is. And why did he fall into the broken toilet, into all of the poop? He fell, he was covered in poop because she left the pool. So listen, then she kicked him out, hugging him. She got poop all on her.
Oh my God.
That was her moment. So then what she does, Adam, is she contacts the guy. He thinking he about to have another session because she was like, I need to see you. All right, I'm gonna be on the highway such and such. Right. She goes to me, but this time she brings her son.
Oh wow.
Her son comes with her. He's sitting there like,
what's this? What
are you doing there? Getting inside the van. So make a long story short, that was her moment to tell him she can't do this no more. Right. Like she realized she lost herself. This is crazy. And so he tried to tell her, he was like, well, here's some, I'm gonna give you some money for your gas or your so-and-so. You're like, I can't take it. So when she getting in the car to leave, he tries to put it on the windshield wiper. So it shows her driving off and the money flying all over the place. I was doing it when he said thanks. But anyway, so she gets all this and go on somewhere. And I just said to myself, we can be stupid.
Yeah, we can.
All over some PP and DD. Ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, man, listen, many of us have been with people, and for whatever reason, the person feels like they can, because what's really happening, Adam, when someone leaves you, but tries to continue to bait you for some form of relationship. Yeah. They don't want to be with you as your man or woman full on, but I don't want to crush the relationship yet.
Right.
The worst part of those kind of relationships is people are telling you in so many words, I can spare to be away from you. I know you're not going to go too far. You're not going to do too much. And when I come back around, you'll be right there.
Be right there.
And those are the biggest moments that put us in the spotlight of a fool.
Yeah.
It really does. And so at the end of the day, it's hard to come to grips with, but I looked at it like this, Adam. In life, in my own personal life, I dealt with a whole lot of loss. Different types, right? Different types, not just romantic, but life-wise.
Right.
And what taking a loss life-wise did for me, it caused me to put things in a different perspective. Yeah. And it says every loss has a different meaning. Right. Some of them are losses of retrospect. Right. Some are just let me see. What did I write there? I said some of them are retrospect, and some of them are detrimental, meaning you messed up. Right. Detrimental to your situation. You know, you hurt a good person. Yeah. The retrospect part is something about that decision caused you to learn something. Right. The person left you and you don't have no answers. You don't understand why, but you don't understand why they did it to you. They left you and you had to say, you got to sit there, and what we do to ourselves is we pick ourselves apart. They don't like me because did I not have a better job? Did I not drive the right kind of car? Was my sex not? We think of, men and women think of all kinds of things. Was I not attractive enough? Whatever the case. When all it really comes down to is when somebody chooses to leave, again, they're willing, they see you as Las Vegas. You're worth gambling on. Wow. Because if you're not Las Vegas, you are heaven. And I'm not going to risk my heaven.
Gonna leave the, yeah.
They're going to leave your heaven. So it's like, do you see me as Vegas or heaven? Right. And so when people see you as Vegas, oh, I can get out here. And nowadays, what made it even worse, Adam, is if we don't have somebody that we already are attached to before we leave, which in most cases is the case. Okay. We are bold enough now to just jump back onto the repository of online dating, opening up my DMs and talking to people. Right. And we know if we halfway look a little something or halfway got a little something,
Right.
Just like that, you're going on a date on Friday. Anybody tonight get on a profile, message somebody, here it is Thursday. You can have a date tomorrow, if not tonight.
Right. Yeah, if not tonight.
But anyway, so what I'm saying is you gotta look at this differently than that. People are worth more than being tempted by this reservoir of foolishness. Half the time, people that you looking over the fence to, they don't care nothing about you. They don't care about your life. They care about your life for what it benefits them.
Right.
Or they care about what the physical part, what they can get from you. If you're going to give them a piece, break them off, whatever the case. But then if you ever notice, sometimes some people that be hawking your inbox or hawking, if you gamble up and give them a shot, they flip the script. Now, but yeah, I know I said I was going to take you out of the country, but how about we go down to, how about we go to Atlantic City? Hold up, nigga, how you going down to Atlantic City? You told me that we was going out the country. Now we going to Jersey.
Right.
So that's what happened when standards collapse.
Yeah.
When standards collapse, everything collapsed. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Adam. I know I went on the whole tangent. But anyway.
I mean,
All I'm saying, and this is where I'm going to hand the baton off to you.
Oh, Lord.
The part about the blessings I keep saying is sometimes when people leave you, the reason we miss the blessing of it because we're still wallowing in the curse of it.
Okay.
And the curse of it is you didn't belong there in the first place.
Okay.
God was doing you a solid by punching you in the gut.
Yeah.
Or snatching that person, or they walking out the marriage and taking all this and messing your credit up. Oh, it could have been much worse.
Worse than what it was.
If you had stayed in it.
Right.
We don't have no clue what's on the other side.
That's true.
If we continue to chase after things who don't want us.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. And that's nothing makes a man or a woman look more desperate and pitiful than chasing someone who don't want you.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to know that is by taking off your foggy glasses and really saying, this person's actions say that they don't care that much to be with me.
Right.
And that's just a frank truth.
Yeah.
If you look at the actions, it's going to tell you the whole thing.
True.
The actions are going to construct or deconstruct. Yeah. And if the actions are construction, you say, oh, I'm going to ride this one out because I have their attention. Right. I have their interest. I have their vigor. I have their excitement. Now, it's not to say that relationships don't go through things that every now and again we need to come to the table and settle it.
Right.
Fix it and all those things. But in most cases, we just arrogantly go on our way because we think we this and we think we that. And I don't need to talk to them like, oh, I'm going to go on over here. Terrible. Every relationship, if nothing else, every relationship that you agree to commit to deserves a Last Supper.
Okay.
Like even Jesus had the Last Supper. He knew, let me settle my affairs before I go on. And for some people, settling your affairs mean, listen, we tried this. I know we talked about this. I did this. I didn't do that. You didn't do this. Whatever. I just want you to know no hard feelings. I don't know, where life goes from here, but I think we just need to really wish each other well and be honest about it. Right. But this turnstile thing needs to die. Yeah. When people legit leave and say whatever the reasons they come up with to tell themselves they need to go across the street, well, think really long and hard. Because when you go, this turnstile locks. And that's a wrap. And if more of us thought like that, we wouldn't have so many muddy waters and bloody streams of people being in marriages and being in relationships and still being in love with somebody else or still minding the business of the person's new life. You know where their new wife work, what kind of car she got. It's too much on husband. We do too much. When the person leaves you, that is the end. Right. You don't have to keep talking to your man dudes or your girlfriends about the change in the residue of what their life is doing. They chose to have life without you. That's it. Saturday.
That's it. Are you sure? You sure?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm sure there's some more. I'm sure there's some more.
Of course.
You know when it's personal, when it's deep, when we got a lot.
Man, and listen.
But no, here's the thing. Now, let me say this. And I'm gonna let you pick it right back up. So your thought of the blessing of their exit is absolutely perfect, because without their exit, we don't get to advance to the next place or to the next person that is supposed to be for us. You know what I'm saying? But often, help me out here, Bruce. Often, because of the soul tie that we have with this person, because of our past shared experiences that we have gone through with this person, because we have been at the highest height and the deepest depth with this person. They've treated us like this and we treated them like that. Often we don't see it as a blessing, Charles. Just like you said, we don't see it as a blessing because we're tied into this person. We have a soul tie with this person, which prohibits us from seeing their exiting our lives. And all we want is to be with them because we got blinders on. You know what I'm saying? And it ends up paralyzing us, keeping us in such a state where we can't move backward or forward because now we're stuck with this person. They're in our emotionally stuck, mentally stuck, physically stuck. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where we are. And so we don't see their exit as a blessing. Y'all talk to me in the comments. When that person that you truly loved and truly cared for decided to walk away, you were like, what am I going to do to get this person back? But the thing of it was, Charles, you can't get them back.
That's it.
You're not supposed to get them back. You're supposed to let them go and move on because there's obviously, and you got to look at it this way, is obviously somebody better suited for you than who you have presently. But again, we don't see it as a blessing. If anything, like you said, we see it as a curse because of the fact that they're no longer a part of our lives, and we got this deep soul tie with them. And nobody wants to. No, let's be honest. Let's be real. Nobody really wants to cut a soul tie. Not really,
because if it reaches the soul, it's good. That's a deal. Once something reaches the soul, you let it come through that portal to get there. We know how to block it off, but go ahead.
Right. No, but the thing of it is, we got to, in order for you to move forward, and again, this requires you to really have a deep understanding of yourself, and not only that, but an appreciation of who you are, to be able to say, you know what, as painful as this is, and this is where the grown men and the grown women show up, as painful as this is, as difficult as this is, as hard as this is, I'm going to have to let them go, which means there are going to be some tears. There's going to be an ache in your heart because this person is no longer there. You know what I'm saying? And it's only in hindsight. It's only after the fact, Charles, do we see their exit from our lives as an actual blessing.
Wow.
It's only after the fact. We never see it in the moment. We never see it in the moment. Never. We never see it in the moment. The moment that happens, it's not a good thing.
Wow.
I thought we were going to be together forever. I thought we was going to get married. We were going to go do this, and we were going to go live here, and we were going to have this many kids. It's only after they leave.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if we're really honest about this, I want us to be transparent about this. Sometimes, if we're honest, even some of us today still don't see their exit as a blessing.
Wow. They see it as a fault. You messed it up, and that's why we're not where we are.
That's why we're not together. And we don't see their exit as a blessing. But as I live and breathe, at some point in time, you have to realize and you have to recognize that there's a higher plan at play. Let's put it like that. There is a higher plan at play.
Right.
And even though we are not privy to all of the details of that plan, there is yet a higher plan at play. Let me do it like this. If I had stayed with the ones I were with, Charles, when I gotten divorced, if I had stayed with them, then there would be no present moment with me and the woman that I'm with right now.
That's it.
That's the truth of the matter. But I was not aware of the plan.
Yeah.
I was not aware of the details as to what was about to happen. If I had held on to it, no matter what would, no telling what would have happened if I had held on to who I held on to. Yeah. And if I'm being honest, I tried my best to hold on to him as long as I could.
Yeah, you did.
I tried my best.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to let go. Because here's
you
the thing.
Sincere. And if you remember one time you shared something with me that you told the person, and it was like remember you gave them a long projection, and I said, well, Adam, probably shouldn't have said that, but it was meant. You were being sincere, it was meant to be because God knew if Adam was sincere, the person wasn't going to receive what you said.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
And sometimes the people that we might be with presently might not be the ones who are prepared for us.
Yeah.
Maybe they are preparing us for the next person. Sometimes you got to see it like that. Because often the people that you're with presently, you know what I'm saying, even though you may have plans and you want to do what you want to do, but if their heart is not for you, if the relationship is more manipulative and exploitive, you know what I'm saying, then they obviously don't really love you the way that they say that they love you. And they need to go. They need to exit. We need to cut this tie because of the fact that you don't mean me any good. Yeah. And as hard as it is for me, Bruce, as hard as it is for me to admit this, sometimes you got to cut that soul tie.
Wow.
Sometimes sometimes there has to be an exit. You have to leave. There needs to be an exodus out of my life so that I can move into the next place that I'm supposed to be going to. But if I keep holding on to all this stuff, how do I move forward? How am I open to the next thing that is prepared for me? That, let me put it like this, that God has prepared for me. And let's really boil it down to the fact that he has some plans for you. He's got a plan for your life, but you keep mucking it up by holding on to the one he's trying to escort out of the office. Yeah. He done open up the door. He trying to usher them out. You still holding on to their leg, trying to get them to stay. And he like, listen.
No, I'm trying to bless you.
Right. I'm trying to bless you with this exit. I'm trying to bless you with this. Let this person exit your life so that the next person can enter your life. See, you're holding up the entry of the person that's supposed to come in by holding on to the person that's supposed to be exiting.
Wow.
What we doing?
Wow.
What we doing? And here's the thing, though, Charles. Here's where we really messed up at. Because we held on to that person for years and years and years. We held on to that person and we kept them from exiting. All the while keeping the person that's supposed to enter almost in a suspended pending state.
Wow.
To the point where they can't come in because we won't let the person who's supposed to go.
Wow. And you know what we're doing? Just like when when a flood takes place in a building, home, basement, the first thing you are supposed to do is drain and clean, right?
Yeah.
So when we break out of our relationships, drain and clean, but we don't do it. And what happens is what happens to many of us. We allow spiritual mold take shape in our relationships. So we're with somebody new, but the wallpapers of our heart is the other person.
Right.
Because of the mold that we allow to sit in from that door.
Spiritual mold, emotional mold.
Yes, all of it.
Mental mold.
Yeah, physical mold.
Growing in the wall because we haven't torn down that old stuff. We haven't gotten rid of it yet. And
Yes.
let's address Bruce real quick. I got you, Bruce. I hear what you're saying. Right. You got to be mindful that it's not the enemy trying to manipulate you and exploit you and try to get you into places. One of the things that I do when it comes to relationship is really asking and seeking for the wisdom of God as to who's supposed to be in my life next.
Wow.
Because the enemy can set up stuff. He can try stuff.
And decoys.
Right. He can send decoys and diversions and things of that nature. But you have to be in tune with the Spirit of God. And I'm not talking, I'm about to mess up. I'm going to be real clear with you. I'm not talking about the universe.
Wow. All right.
You can email me if you want. But I'm not talking about the universe.
Yeah, that's it.
What I'm saying is this, is that if God has somebody for you, he absolutely, positively has somebody for you. And you got to believe and have faith in that there is absolutely a plan. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, I'm about to go study on you. Oh Lord have mercy. You know Jeremiah 29. I know the thoughts and the plans that I have for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To prosper you, to give you an expected end.
Yeah.
See, again, we're not privy to the plans. So the exit, we did not know that they were going to leave.
Wow.
We were convinced that they were the one.
Yeah.
We thought that this was going to last forever. But when they exited, it was God's plan to bring in the person that was supposed to be for us.
Wow.
Ooh, watch this. Watch this. Watch me turn this upside down real quick. So the person that we had helped to prepare us for the person that will come, so that when they came, we would know how to value them. Oh man. Wow. We would know how to appreciate them. Yeah. We would know what to do with them. Because the person that we did have, we weren't quite clear. But the person that we will have, we know exactly how to treat them. I'm going to be honest with you. And again, I've said this before. Maria is the grace of God in my life.
Wow. Yeah.
Absolutely. All of the things that I should have did previously are the things that I'm doing now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because I learned lessons in the previous place. I learned lessons where I was. I learned from the mistakes and the failures of the previous place. And now and here's the thing. It's not that I know everything.
Yeah.
But I know enough not to do the stuff that I did before. See, this is why you got to let that person exit out. Because let's be honest, they are a lesson. Come on, man. They're a lesson for you to learn. So when the real person comes through, you know how to treat them. You know how to respect them. You know how to value them. You understand the importance of communication with them.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is let that person go. Let that person go. Let them exit out of your life. Stop. Why are you holding on to them? You are literally holding up your own blessing. Wow. Because you refuse to let this other person go. Come on.
Listen, stop. And essentially what's happening is people are standing in front of the exit.
Yes.
And they're literally standing. People are like, look, come on, man. I'm telling you, I'm done. I need to leave. No, you're not thinking clearly. You just want to run over there. And the thing of it is, most of us that get in these situations where we are in our own way, it is only because we think we know the plan.
Right.
We think we know.
We think we know.
We're not consulting. We're not asking God or whoever that you believe in. We're not seeking anything for any guidance. We're just saying in our minds, I feel you caused me to feel away.
Right.
So here's the thing. Just because you fall in love, it doesn't mean that person is for you.
Ooh, say that again, bro.
Choice.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean someone came and sprinkled dust in your face and now you got to be responsible for me because I feel for you.
Right.
You got your responsibility. That's why the word says, work out your soul salvation.
No doubt,
in love, work out your heart salvation.
Yeah.
It's on you. It's an individual affair that we come together and flourish in. But the thing is, listen, another thing I said to myself over time, Adam, in life, I didn't always think like this, but the thing I said to myself was, it is either You're going to see and appreciate me in the present.
Yes.
But you will not get the opportunity to latch on to me from the past.
Right.
You don't appreciate me today in the moment.
Yeah.
When you go to the other side, it's on you.
Yeah.
Because I ain't going back. I'm not opening no doors. It's a wrap.
Right.
And the thing of it is you were talking about how some of us are in our own way. Think about it. Sometimes what you call is anguish and somebody getting on your nerves and blowing you and all these things like this, what that really is doing, whether you realize it or not, some of this, you know how when we're on the basketball team, football team, whatever that we're doing, there is a practice regimen.
Right.
You got to get your reps in.
Your reps in, yeah. You got to get that.
Some ratchetness and toxicness is you getting your reps in, because you got to learn how to be better on the other side.
Right.
So every interface that's happening between you and the person that may not be great or perfect, it doesn't mean it's deemed as a loss.
Right.
Because there's so many times you're going to get slapped upside the head till you should say, you know what, I don't think it's a good idea to do this when my partner asks me to just refrain. So if you're the kind of person that's going to push beyond the limits, then whatever happens on the other side of the tracks happen. But we need to learn from the things that are occurring in our lives instead of trying to strong arm people.
Right. Right.
You can't force nobody to love you.
Come on.
Just, listen, if you want to, there's nothing like turning a person off and turning them away from you, like allowing them to get to the point where they're realizing this person isn't necessarily loving me. They're setting snares and traps to keep me. I'm not an animal in your cage. I'm not a pet.
Right.
I'm somebody who deserves healthy love just like you, right? So love me from a healthy perspective, not a control. I'm not a prisoner, right? So we got to stop trying to force people to love where they are exhausted. Yeah. People have a right to move on. If they feel exhausted, I don't have any more strength, I can't do it no more. Well, guess what? You better do some exercise over there, because you're not going to get strength after you leave.
Right.
Regarding me. Right. So if you weak and you're done, bye. It's just that simple. Go ahead, and we just need to learn again. People used to always say to me, "You gotta be so cold, and do you have feelings?" Of course, I have feelings.
Right.
But I have learned how to put those feelings in perspective.
Right.
Every reaction and every feeling doesn't have to result in some dramatic outpour. Yeah. I don't have to lose who I am. Right. And that's not because I don't love. It's sometimes it is love refraining you from acting a fool.
Wow.
That's what love is. Restraint. Okay. Yeah. Love ain't letting it all go, and whatever happened, I almost stab you and kill you, so be it. Love is the power of restraint. Yeah. Right? To the power to not go and cheat, or somebody cheated on you, or to do this and do benevolence to someone else that they did ill will to you. That's what love is, but we don't practice that. We want to go and get you. I'm gonna get my lick back. I'm gonna go over here and do all this kind of stuff. And listen, another thing, since we're on the subject of the realizing the blessings that are happening when people are leaving, Adam, and I'm gonna get to you, Bruce, is some of us, if we honest, when are we gonna learn that most of our relationships fail because of the circle around us? Okay. Who are you talking to? Okay. Who are you sharing with? I guarantee you, if people that have been in either toxic relationship, bad relationship, or situations where you may have called yourself making a move, right? 9 times out of 10, someone fed the trajectory to your spirit. Okay. From your inner circle. Because we don't just tell anybody anything. Right. We tell the people close to us. Right. Whether we call them our quote unquote best friends. And I always say this: jealousy is cruel to the grave. Nobody, people can say what they want to say. People barely want to see you happy that's with you, your own spouse, barely.
Mm.
But you can rest assured that people don't want to see people happy if they themselves are not happy. You
Right.
can sit up there and be like, oh my God, guess what he did? What? He been behind my back and invited all 300 of my family for my birthday. Now, you don't think that's going to gut punch your friend when
Right.
she got Leroy that's taking her check?
Ooh.
It's different. She paying to keep Leroy. This
Right.
guy is showering you. So I think we don't get that part. And men and women, when we sharing, when we do all this glorious sharing, you're not realizing that while, yes, it should be celebrated and your friends should love you, but all you're really doing is stirring up a toxic pond. Because people are behind your back when you leave the girls or the dudes' brunch, the hangout spot. Oh man, it ain't really like that for real, because such and such told me they was in that so-and-so DM and she was rapping to him. So I mean, somebody always looking for something negative in it,
Right.
rather than really championing you. And so again, watch your circles, because some people have made decisions to leave based off someone who's not happy or dysfunctional themselves that told you need to leave.
Yeah.
Stop listening to the wrong whales of things coming in. You got the wrong substance coming down your mental path. And listen to somebody that's going to tell you, most of the times, good advice is the advice you don't want to hear. It's the advice that goes against your spirit when you hear it. You're like, I don't believe that. Yeah, but you want someone to agree with you for the foolishness.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I want to go back to something that you mentioned previously when you first first started out, and it was the fact that sometimes, often, the people that we are with that are supposed to be exiting, that they take from us.
Yeah.
But they don't give back to us.
Yeah. Ooh.
And often what happens is because of the fact that they get see. So it's more about them servicing their own needs and using you as a resource or a tool to service their own needs.
Correct.
And all the while, in the process of that happening, they leave you empty. They leave you drained. They leave you used up. And let's be real honest now. A real relationship is not supposed to leave you empty. Let's be honest. You're walking around feeling drained and empty and dry and walking around hungry and thirsty for affection and love, and you are in a relationship.
Wow.
You need to reassess that relationship.
Wow.
Because of the fact that a real relationship does not do that. A real relationship is an exchange. A real relationship is reciprocal. I give to you, you give to me.
That's it.
And we both get full off of each other.
Yeah.
But if you're walking around and you're in a relationship and you're constantly giving, constantly pouring out, you are literally the well by which they dump their bucket into and get their water out of. And after a while, they leave you dry. Ain't no water left. They didn't do nothing to try to replenish you or try to repay you or any of that. You need to pack up your bags and go.
Wow.
Because this person is obviously exploitive and manipulative, and they are only using you
for their benefit.
For their benefit. You're not getting nothing out of the deal. Again, you walking around, dry and empty. And here's the thing, though: when you walk around dry and empty emotionally, you're not right. Yeah. You messed up. You walking into work and your hair is standing all over your head and you looking crazy. You know why you look crazy like that? And I guarantee you, your coworkers and your boss have noticed you looking crazy because you're emotionally empty. You're spiritually dry because these people have been draining all of your resources. Again, a real relationship, a healthy relationship, a wholesome relationship adds something to you. So as much as you get from it, you're also adding to it. It should be a reciprocal exchange that takes place between the two of you. And here's the thing, though. So it's not just. Let me just help you with this. And I'm kind of speaking to what Bruce was talking about. It's not just emotional reciprocation, but it's also mental reciprocation,
sure.
physical reciprocation. It's also financial reciprocation. I take you out, you take me out. We help to support one another, each other all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I have to fight my wife when we go out to dinner. I know we talked about this before, but when we go out to dinner, often we have to fight who's going to pay the check because I want to pay the check. And then she wants to pay the check. But see, that goes to show where our heart really is.
Yeah.
That goes to show that I'm not sitting here trying to take advantage of you. I'm not trying to take you for granted. I'm not just trying to get something out of you, but rather I'm trying to give something to you. You want somebody in your life that wants to give something to you just as much as you want to give to them.
That's good. Because it should be, that's why I mentioned the fair exchange, because it should be when the relationship, if the relationship gets to, even if it gets to an end, if it was done right, should be a series of deposits.
It should be. Absolutely.
And no one should be left bankrupt.
Exactly.
Right? And, or in the negative. So here's the key. When love is the only entity that we allow the day we're supposed to get paid on to skip and we don't say nothing. When we have a check, when your direct deposit, you know what, how many people know when you get paid on Monday, you trying to see if it's going to hit on Friday, Saturday, but you on it, right? And if something don't happen, you emailing HR.
Yeah.
But in love, you're thinking to yourself, you know, I've been treating this person this way. I think I should get paid. Right. And I'm not talking about money.
Right.
I should be paid through something with their love.
Yeah.
It shouldn't always be I have to be the one initiating it.
Right.
It should be I'm getting paid, you getting paid. Right. A fair exchange is what keeps the wheel oiled and moving. But when it stops to getting fair, that's when you can rest assured resentment is building up. Right. And somebody is like, this is not fair any longer.
Right.
And this is now I need to address what's happening because what this is ain't right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so that person that's supposed to be exiting your life, if they haven't been reciprocal in terms of a fair exchange between the two of you, the lesson is this: is that you never receive what you're not willing to give back to the other person. So if they never gave back to you and they only received from you, the lesson is that when the next person comes, when they give to you, you also you receive from them, but you also give to them as well. You know what I'm saying? And let me just also put this on there too. And it also has to do with receiving from people, receiving from one another. When I love wholeheartedly. I'm not looking for a reciprocal exchange.
Yeah.
But I also know that a reciprocal exchange is supposed to happen.
Right.
It's supposed to take place.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, then I have to go, okay, what's happening here?
Yeah.
What am I missing? Which means now we have to have a conversation about how do you understand the dynamic that's working between the both of us? If the person's supposed to be with you, they will quickly and immediately make an adjustment. If the person's supposed to exit, they're going to give you all the reasons under heaven as to why they're not giving back to you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, it's something, man. It's just like I just would employ anybody that's in some of these situations that are unhealthy. And when I say, I'm not even talking about active relationships, but if you know you are the victim of a walkout, a leave, a divorce that you think wasn't your fault, right? I challenge people to change your perspective as to how you see the exit.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if you peel the onion layers back, you're going to start to see it ain't going to feel good now. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit there and tell you there's some magic to it. You're going to have to go through it, right? It's flat out. But I would rather go through it with a clear head and an understanding of what is in full perspective than go through something and be angry and just, I can't stop stalking a person, looking at their page, talking about them to all my friends, all while I call myself moving on. That's not fair.
But that is so, and I know we do it and we should not do it, but that is so almost like torture.
Yeah.
It is so self-inflicting that you want to go back and see where they are now, and you want to, how they doing, and what they doing, what they up to. But what are you up to? why are you so? See, why do you have to know what they're doing?
Yeah.
And again, that's just that that's an indication that you haven't completely let them go. And here's the thing, though: it's not that the thought doesn't occur in your mind. It's not that you don't think about it from time to time.
Yeah.
But to act on that,
yeah,
that means you haven't completely healed.
Yeah.
From the previous relationship.
Yeah.
You haven't completely released everything that you should be releasing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to let it go in order to move on and move forward to where you're supposed to be. Stop messing up your own mind by going on Facebook and searching their name and looking at what they're doing and where they went and how long they were there and who they were there with and all this crazy madness, man. Come on.
So look, what we're doing when people do that is you're looking for the reason to say, that's what I thought. We want to prove to ourselves that their choice was wrong. Wow. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the choice was wrong or right.
Right.
The only thing you need to be concerned with was you were looked at as expendable.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
That's it. That's all
now,
that matters.
If they happy, sad, mad, want to come back, it don't matter. The moment, I wasn't important enough to keep. That's all that matters. You got to look at it like that. And so here's another thing.
Yeah.
When this is what we all need to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
We can't help when someone gets hurt.
Right.
If somebody got hurt, or let's just say you were in a relationship where you gave a lot emotionally, physically, financially, and then when the person leaves or the relationship is over, like most of us, we still want love, so we continue to look. Right. But one of the things that are red flags is when people show up only wanting to receive.
Right.
Because when people show up wanting to receive, it's because they came out of another relationship where they gave too much.
Yeah.
So now I can't look like another fool. So I'm gonna get with this guy or girl and I'm gonna let them do everything because I'm vile. Listen, I remember, Adam, a situation where I could tell immediately. Now here's the thing. The person had a job, they got money, nice house, all these things. But I noticed, I said it began to feel obvious that this person was refusing to give in any manner. It was all these dinner dates. I'm paying. They not once said, let me get this.
Right.
It just give. From me, see, contrary to that person, I like to eat nice anyway. So you just have to be sitting over there. How I look at it. It ain't don't think you coming up. I just like to go here whether I'm with you or not.
Right.
But the point is, the person would go with these places everywhere I would go. And when that bill come in, think about going that purse or getting nothing, just sat there. And so I remember saying, you need to go back and get your weight up. And she said, what do you mean? You are emotionally out of shape.
Wow.
You showed up to a relationship where you were spent in your last one.
Right.
I get that you want love, but don't come back until you're ready to reciprocate.
Yeah.
I don't need someone to bleed me about hard work. No, I don't need all that. If you cannot contribute, I'm not even asking you to go 50 or do all this stuff, but for God's sake, what does it hurt out of 10, 12 meals, Adam, to say you're going to pay for one or two? Like, people don't realize how far that goes. If you want to get out of the mindset of someone that you're a taker, a user, a gold digger, prove them wrong.
Right.
And come out of yourself and offer of you. It's
Right.
not going to hurt you to pay for something that you're dining in too.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
ain't freebie. I work like any other person out here. They own. People ain't just waking up, money growing out the trees and saying, "I'm gonna go ahead and throw it around today." People work for what they got. So
Right.
why on earth do people think you are entitled to someone's wallet just because you're sitting across from them?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna say this real quick so we can kind of like wrap this up. So
Okay.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Charles. What I do for you, what I do for you in terms of spending my money on you, taking you out, we going here, we going there, is a clear indication of not only how I feel about you, but how much I actually value you.
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay however amount of money to buy you this and to take you here and to take you there. It is an obvious indication of how much I appreciate and value you. So I'm willing, because here's the thing. I just don't feel the way that I feel about you, but I want to show you how I feel about you by taking you out and spending money on you. I want to show you how I feel about you by taking you out of the country to an island somewhere. I want to show you how I feel about you by buying the most expensive thing I could possibly buy for you. And here's the thing, though. My wife is not about gifts.
Yeah.
That's not her language of love. Her language of love is acts of service. So guess what I'm doing? I'm vacuuming, I'm cleaning, I'm putting dishes in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Why? Because I value her.
Yeah.
And my love for her compels me to demonstrate to her how much I value her. The person that you were with, Charles, because they were reluctant and reticent to spend any money on you, was a clear indication of how much they actually value you or did not value you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that we need to pay attention to those signs.
Look,
we need to really pay attention to those signs, because a lot of times people, we're spending on the money, whoever you might be, we're spending on the money, but they haven't opened up their wallet. They haven't even, you know how you lean to the side to get your wallet out? They ain't even done that. They ain't even leaned to the side.
At least give me a chance. And you ain't got to do that. I probably would have did that anyway, but don't sit there and be like,
you just sitting there. You're not even leaning to the side. You're not even making a gesture to get to the wallet. You're just sitting there expecting them to do what they do, which means, again, that's an indication to me that you don't value me.
Yeah.
You would rather for me to spend all my money on you, and you don't do a daggone thing to show me how you really feel about me.
Yeah. I've even had situations, Adam, where let's just say I may have shared previous relationships or maybe when I say shared, I'm talking about certain situations, or me and this person was like this, and this. I remember someone arguing me down because they kept saying, "Why did you wait to get to me to not treat me like you treated them?" Like the things I was saying I may have done in that relationship I may be different about now. Okay. It don't have nothing to do with you.
Right.
It has to do with the way I looked at certain things I may have been doing, and maybe I made an adjustment to.
Okay.
But the person was like mad because they felt like the stories they heard me saying was not happening to them. When I say, well, there's a couple things to look at this. You're not that person. You're you, right? Your experience is your experience. That person's experience was that experience. And whatever I went through there in that fire, I am now, the fire is out. So you got a different version. You don't have the man or woman over there.
Right.
You got somebody different. So we need to learn to value people in their present states.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean people can't come back and do certain things and things can awaken in them once they realize it is safe to do so. Sometimes people sit back and they can do a whole lot, but they don't, because they're waiting to make sure you're appreciative and grateful. Nothing irritates someone who is a giver like someone who is ungrateful. Wow. So the thing is, so sometimes because a person isn't doing something, it doesn't mean they don't think you're special or great. if you care about them, if you love or like them or whatever, give it time.
Yeah.
Give people time to evolve.
Yeah.
No one says that just because you show up, you deserve something. Listen, Adam, I don't mean to get vulgar.
Oh, Lord.
There are a million booties and cute faces.
True.
There are a million big chests and shoulders and penises
Right.
everywhere. Nobody,
everywhere. They all over the place.
Listen, nobody, if we haven't lived in a time where that is made any more clear, nobody is an anomaly.
Right.
Anybody can be replaced.
That's right.
Period, point blank. So we got to get out of ourselves. And it's not that you have to be in a competition, but you got to understand to yourself, listen, I don't need to be this person to cause all of this havoc and problems for what? Be kind, be understanding, be amicable, be amendable. We're no longer amendable. Amendable means I'm open for iterations, changes, and versions of myself. If you don't want to do that, you're not going to be good for anybody if you only see the exchange of love as a one-way tunnel to you. You're going to lose every time.
No, you're right, man.
Listen, y'all. Bruce said, be at peace. Yeah, that's it. Be me. No, that's it. That's all people want. We get it. People, I know when people say you can't say you want peace and bring hell. Well, the goal is not just for me to have peace, but you to have peace and us both to have harmony. So whatever we can do or not do to keep that, let's work towards that. But I can tell you the answer, even if somebody is lacking something or not happy about a little bit of this or that, the answer is never to jaw somebody to death.
Right.
You're going to literally beat the person down. People, as grown people, Adam, we know where we fail. We're not dumb. We know what we're not doing.
Yeah.
What we're not doing enough of.
Right.
Give people the space to come to it. You telling them really just irritates the situation. It doesn't help because whatever state that person is in, you just threw some alcohol on their wound. Now it's irritated. We like, get away. So we got to learn. I said this once, Bruce. Remember we were at that Dr. Cheryl's conference. And I'm only saying this as a man, but you can take it as a woman saying this as a guy. To a guy. I said the best partner in the world is the person who has mastered the art of timing with their partner. Knowing when and knowing when not is a skill.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have the skill of when and when not. Yeah. Every time sometimes it's not the time for that conversation.
True.
It's not the time for your attitude. It's not the time. Yes, we can have those times, but that's when, just like we do our food, you need to learn how to season.
Yeah.
Season things at the right time.
Right.
What would you do if a chef come put a plate in front of us and I take the salt out because I'm mad and say, and throw all the salt on your plate? Now that just threw off your meal.
Oh yeah, you're not.
It's still the same food there, but you don't like it because it's just
too much salt.
Whatever you have. So that's what it's like in exchanges of trying to reach resolve or work through problems. It's not that people don't want to talk about them. It's not that they don't want to address them, but you have to wait to ideal times. Feel out their spirit. Does this person seem like they're in a space to receive what I'm going to bring?
Right.
Why say it because you're mad?
Right.
If it's not going to be heard and felt, save it.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. So at the end of the day, like you said, we just have to be better. If we're going to keep people in our lives that we love, like again, don't keep anybody who don't want to be loved and kept.
Can't do it.
And if you want to keep somebody who wants to be kept, we got to nurture and blossom the relationships from a fair perspective. Yeah. So that when it all comes down to it, you got money in your account, I have money in mine. Even if you got a little more, we still walk around with something in our account. Nobody is bankrupt and nobody's putting their love card in and is saying nothing, we need no money below negative and all that. No,
Right.
be fair. You know what you gave today and what you didn't.
Right.
And look at what you're giving, and look at the things we give to our partner, like money. How much have I given my partner this month? Probably $5. I need to be kicked. She should probably at least have 500 or 1,000. I'm just making an example. But how are we giving? Put it to monetize and see how we're giving. And when you look at it like that, you begin to see how broke your partner is at the hand of you.
Wow.
So, all right. So, all right, y'all. We appreciate you for tuning in to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio today, where we talked about the blessing of their exit. Leaving is not necessarily a bad thing. We appreciate you guys. We hope that you guys will come back. Look, I need to get some kudos, Adam, because I got my internet together. Yeah. Anyway, so all right, yeah. And just so y'all know, Adam has been on me like white on rice about this book that he and I are working on.
Oh my God! Why are you announcing it now?
I would say, Adam, I'm about, Adam, I'm probably at the 75% mark. And if you just give me a week or two, a couple weeks. By the end of this month, it's going to be done. At least done. I'm talking about. I said by then it'll be done, if not before.
Okay.
It'll be done so that we can go to the next step. That's
well
all.
No, so now you kind of set yourself up.
That's okay.
Because you announced it to everybody, and so now they're going to hold you accountable, bro.
Listen, man, I got so many words. It's just a matter of me placing them where they need to be.
Well, we need you to move.
Already laid
Let's go.
You done put 5, but now you done started it. That's it. Now I'm
it
like,
took me long enough. God dog.
Now like the Hebrew, but the Negro Bible.
It's almost been a whole year, but anyway.
All right. Anyway, appreciate y'all, and we will see you guys next week, 4:30 Central. Well, unless something changes like we normally do, 6 p.m. we'll be out off. It's either gonna be 4:30 most of the times, unless Adam has an audible, then we'll do 6 o'clock. Other than that, go ahead, say something. I know you're gonna say something.
You know what? I was gonna say something, but
Adam,
we need to end this show. But I'm just gonna say accountability. I got you, sis. I'm on it. I'm on it. Or rather, I'm on him. I'm on him. Man. Yeah. So you announced it. I was trying to help you by not saying nothing.
That's okay.
But now that you announced it to the world, now that you have announced, you gotta come through with the goods, bro.
You done lit the fire, and now I'm writing every day. That's it.
You done come through with the good. You gotta come through with the goods, bro. Let's go.
All right, okay. Well, all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all. Well, I guess we have to act up next. But anyway, all right. Hold on. You know what, Adam? This is what I didn't say on the show. Let me just go ahead and say it on Unplugged. Some people, Adam, you got to give them a dose of their own medicine.
Here we go. With the ratchet. Here we go.
Yeah, we come to the ratchet side. All right, here's the
ratchet side. Here we go.
Have you ever had someone walk out and they thought the grass was greener on the other side?
Yeah.
But they weren't quite ready to stop using you as the lawnmower man.
Ooh.
They wanted you to cut the grass. So, listen, sometimes you got to teach them a lesson. So I can remember back in my repository of life, Adam.
Oh, God.
This happened where the person thought the grass was greener, but they still wanted me to mow the lawn. Now, because I saw them more than just mowing the lawn, they didn't get it. They didn't get the fact that I was 10 toes down, right? But they just thought I just wanted to mow the lawn. So in my distress of thought, I said, all right, we're gonna play this game. So I kept mowing the lawn while they call themselves going on tour. Tour meaning I'm gonna go search the world for what I think I deserve. Then she came off a tour. The bus dropped her off at the town square of this town. And now it's, oh my God, you was there for me. And I waited for the opportune time, Adam, to say, I'm sorry, but I have another yard contract. It doesn't work anymore. I've got another lawn cutting, and this lawn is just interesting.
I can't.
This is what happens, Adam. When you leave, sometimes when you leave people, you give them a chance to discover a better job. So sometimes you can stop that by sitting still. But if you don't sit still, people have a way of finding better opportunities. So that was just a learning lesson. You know, I don't know, Chris.
Really? Was it though?
It felt good to get the gut punch back. Here she was thinking she coming off the bus. And you know, in the movies when they come off the bus, no, remember the girl in what's Tom Hanks movie where he had the broken legs? What's the name of the movie? The real popular one.
Oh, we talking about Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump. When the girl he was all crazy about, she went out there acting a fool, and then she came back after she done went on tour and went to sleeping everywhere she could.
Oh, yeah.
And he gonna come back to him. Man, so that was the vision. Gonna get off the bus and like, I'm off a tour. Well, guess what? The tour is up.
Is up.
Yeah, I know. People gotta understand. Stop going out here sampling and thinking somebody wants to receive you back after you sample. No, sir. Anyway, all right. Holla.
I need y'all to pray.
Yeah, pray for me. That's it. This is the show. That's it.
Those who know the words of prayer, please pray.
Yeah,
all right.
That's it. All right, Joe.